The Friars come out with a 4-man front. It's a shotgun set, and a handoff goes for a short carry. And the ball carrier on the play was number 21, Cooper Brown, a 5'9", 195-pound junior for the Sallies. 4-yard gain on the carry. And the Sallies going out of a shotgun set, 3 receivers to the right at the top of your screen. On 2nd and 6, the throw to the sideline is complete. Rasheen Kalk Jr. hauls it in, a yard shy of the first down marker. Good play there by the quarterback Mooney, rolling out to his right.
Yeah, it's going to be crucial for this Friars defense to cause a lot of turnovers today and give Capaldi a short field. He's making his first career start today.
Jack Capaldi, he'll be lining up under center for Malvern, assuming they can get a stop here on 3rd and 1. It's a money down, fake handoff, and sacked in the backfield is Mooney, hit immediately by Jake Brownlee, who got in there on the blitz. Jake Brownlee, the senior linebacker who was a big playmaker for the Friars last season, gets to him for the first sack of the season, and that kills the Sallies' opening drive.
Yeah, Brownlee was basically unblocked there, and he starts off the senior campaign on a good foot with the sack on his first drive.
Now back to receive this punt for the Friars is Lonnie White Jr. He's alongside Isaiah Wright. Deuce Residlo, I'm trying to get the right jersey number of the punter for the Sallies as a timeout is taken with 10 minutes and 38 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca for the Malvern Prep TV studio. And Sonny, the perfect start defensively for the Friars in the 2020 campaign, forcing a 3-and-out thanks to the sack on 3rd and 1 by Jake Brownlee.
Yeah, I don't think the Friars could have had a better start, really. Last year, their defense was their Achilles heel all season long, and that's a great start for them.
Yeah, good point. I mean, the Friars had an up-and-down performance defensively last year, and this is a team which over the last couple of years, even in their undefeated season in the 2018 campaign, got off to a lot of slow starts in games. So Malvern accustomed to having to work back after a slow start in the first quarter over the last couple seasons, but we'll see if they can change the tide this year as this is a shallow punt. Isaiah Wright calls for a fair catch right around his own 46-yard line, and that is where this Malvern Prep drive will start. That punt was sent away, by the way, by John Duppel of the Sallies. So it'll be our first look at junior starting quarterback Jack Capaldi, who Coach Guerrero told me battled it out with Bryce Pippin. Pippin, just a sophomore. Those two went after it in camp. It was a tough fight, but Capaldi ultimately won the battle, and he will lead the Friars here today, making his first career start. Malvern comes out in a shotgun set, 2 receivers to Capaldi's right. The man in the slot is Ryan Falkenstein. Isaiah Wright in the backfield on the right side of Capaldi. And before the first play gets off, whistles blow. And it's going to be a penalty against the Friars. Offsides is the call, and that will move them back 5 yards. 1st and 15, ball on the Malvern 41. Aiden Catania lined up at the fullback spot, and now movement up front, and it's going to be a penalty that offsets the loss for the Friars as a couple of defensive linemen came across. You saw James Yelbert, the senior defensive lineman, come across on that play. Yelbert has offers from 5 Division I programs listed at 6'6", 240. And he's just one of many playmakers up front for the Sallies who can wreak havoc on an offensive line, excuse me. So 1st and 10, ball's loose. Capaldi couldn't handle the snap, but he falls on it to prevent the fumble. So a sloppy start to this ball game for the Friars on offense.
Yeah, after a great defensive possession for the Friars, they're not coming out too strong on offense. A little bit of growing pains for Capaldi out there early on.
Aiden Catania going to the sideline. Jake Brownlee coming into the game, lining up at tight end. It's a 3-receiver set to the right side of Capaldi. Wright's the man in the backfield on Capaldi's right. And this pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. A great defensive play by James Yelbert, who was in the backfield, and Capaldi had no shot on that pass.
Yeah, he was right there. Another thing to keep an eye out for on this Friars offense is Kevin Miller, who's the sophomore, number 75 on the right side of the line. He'll be protecting Capaldi all day. He's making his first career start as well.
Yeah, this is an offensive line for the Friars that has a couple key players, including Christian Curatolo as well, the 6'4", 285-pound senior, and Coach Guerrera really likes how much improvement he's seen out of him over the last couple of years. Play action pass on third down is complete, and it's D'Angelo Stocker, who has an offer from Temple, just a junior, and Stocker's a player we've seen since his freshman year making huge plays on the defense in the first couple of seasons, but now transitioning into that slot receiver role.
Yeah, D'Angelo's also a track star, so he's got the speed to burn all the defensive backs.
In a virtual Zoom combine, Stocker ran a 4.39 40-yard dash, so he's got some wheels. As Isaiah Wright takes the handoff on first down and maybe got a yard as Michael Wing in on the play. Wing, a junior with 5 Division I offers for the Sallies, listed at 6'4", 210. Second and 9 now for the Friars, who come out with 4 receivers, 2 on each side of the line of scrimmage. And now a penalty flag flies from the far sideline. And a defender for Salesianum lined up in the neutral zone, so that'll be a 5-yard penalty to aid Malvern. Second down and 4 now for Malvern. 9 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. We're scoreless. Capaldi in the gun. Takes the snap, looks left, fires and completes a pass to Lonnie White Jr., who breaks a tackle, goes up the sideline, hurdles the defender, and is finally forced out of bounds at the 20-yard line. But Lonnie White Jr. showing you why he's headed to Happy Valley next season.
And there's number 10 again, Lonnie White, picking up right where he left off last season.
Yeah, Lonnie White Jr., an explosive threat at the quarterback spot last year for the Friars. Coach Guerrero wants to use him as a receiver and then line him up in the Wildcat for a couple sets here today. Just such a versatile player for Malvern. First and 10 now for the Friars. They're on the Salesianum 21. It's a handoff right to Wright. Isaiah Wright makes a spin, taken down, but a healthy gain. Tackle made by number 15, Colin Brady. Rasheen Kalk Jr. also in on that play. It was an 8-yard gain by Wright. It'll be second down and 2. 2 receivers to Capaldi's left. It's Lonnie White Jr. in the slot. Another handoff. Wright goes up the middle. Picks up another solid chunk of yards as he's taken down at the Sally's 5-yard line. Isaiah Wright, a junior halfback, and we saw him explode onto the scene last season for the Friars in a game against Episcopal Academy.
Yeah, Isaiah looks really good early on. I don't see the Friars going away from him all game.
They keep it with him. Handoff on first and goal is good for a tud. Isaiah Wright into the end zone for the opening score of the 2020 campaign and an impressive drive for the Friars.
Oh yeah, the Friars killed on that first drive after some flags on the first possession.
Yeah, a good job to overcome the slow start on the opening play or two of the drive, the penalty for offsides, and then the fumble as the extra point attempt is up and straight through. That was number 12, Jake Reed, on the extra point try. Malvern ahead 7-0. So that drive took 3 minutes off the clock. The Friars went a grand total of 54 yards. It was a 5-yard touchdown run by Isaiah Wright. He went right up the gut to get the Friars on the board. And Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca here for Malvern Prep TV. Sonny, the Friars moving the ball at will on the ground against a really solid Salesianum front seven. So that's a good sign for Coach Guerrera and his squad to be able to find some holes, create some A-gaps for their running back, Isaiah Wright, on that first drive. Yeah, this has been a dream start for Coach Guerrera and the Friars. They made it a priority to, start hot like they didn't do a lot last year, and it looks like they've done just that. Yeah, it was rare. It has been rare in the last few seasons to see the Friars get an opening lead in a ball game, but they get the 2020 campaign off to a hot start, and now they'll send it away. It'll be Jake Reed kicking left to right on your screen. Mashawn Tiller back to receive this kick. The last kickoff went for a touchback, and it looks like that will be the case as well, as this sails out of the back of the end zone. What a leg on the junior Jake Reed. And Malvern over the last couple of years has had some pretty solid kickers and punters. So the second drive of the ballgame for Salesianum will start on their own 20-yard line. Their first drive went 3 and out, thanks to a sack on a 3rd and 1 play by Jake Brownlee. He came in on the blitz. Yeah, the Friars looking to build off that first defensive drive and shut down the Sallies one more time. Salesianum in a power I, early movement up front. This looks like it's going to go against the offense. Penalty flags all over the field. And it is indeed a false start. Both guards for the Sallies moved early on that play. So perhaps a little bit of confusion on the snap count. A strong gust of wind blowing over our heads here. We're seated on top of the press box here at Quigley Field. First and 15 out of the power I. It's a handoff for a short gain. Friars smothered that carry. It was a sea of navy blue getting to the ball carrier, including Dale Law, who came in on the play. Aiden Catania also credited with a half of a tackle there. Second and 11 now after Brown picked up 4 yards on the carry. Dylan Mooney under center. And it's a handoff to his fullback, number 41, DJ Morales, who's met at the line of scrimmage. The Friars swarming to the ball defensively early in this ball game. The Friars have done an awesome job up front today, getting pressure on Mooney and trying to contain that offense. 3rd and 10 now for the Sallies. 6:35 remaining in the opening quarter. Malvern with a 7-0 lead. Salesianum attempting to prevent another 3 and out. The Friars defensively trying to force back-to-back drives to stall after just 3 plays. Mooney comes out under center with 2 receivers to his right, takes the snap, fakes a handoff, now rolls out right, and is going to run for the first down, but is hit well short. Tackle made in the open field by number 9, Cooper Frankenheimer, who came up from the safety spot to lay the hit on Mooney. So back-to-back 3 and outs for Salesianum, and a hot start to this game for the Friar defense. Yeah, you could see early on the Sallies trying to utilize Mooney's mobility, but Cooper Frankenheimer was all over that and held him to 4th down. So Salesianum will punt it away for the 2nd time today. Lonnie White Jr. and Isaiah Wright back to receive. Both dangerous playmakers in the open field. A line drive punt headed towards right on the right side of the field, and he'll let it roll. This will take a Sally's bounce and hop out of play at the Malvern 31.5-yard line. 5:20 remaining in the opening quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca. Malvern Prep coming out offensively already with a 7-0 lead as Salesianum having difficulty early on, mounting any plays together on offense. The Friars coming off of a drive that took 3 minutes off the clock and went 56 yards.
Yeah, the Friars are going to look to take advantage of the good play by their defense so far and put some more points on the board and make it a 2-possession lead.
Capaldi comes out in the shotgun. Right the man in the backfield on his right side. And he gets another handoff, goes up the middle, lowers the shoulder, and picks up a couple extra yards. Got about 5 or 6 on the play. Another gap created by the offensive line of Malvern. And they have been up to the challenge so far. This is a Salesianum defense that's got a lot of playmakers up front. But the Friars making it look easy as it's 2nd down and 5 now. Handoff left. Isaiah Wright bounces it outside and has the first down. Another healthy pickup, got about 7 on the play.
Yeah, early on we were talking about Sally's D-line and O-line, but it looks like the Friars have been controlling the trenches for the first part of the first quarter here.
Ball now on the Malvern 42, 4:35 remaining in the opening quarter. And to your point, Sonny, Malvern has complete control of the tempo of this game here. On 1st and 10, it's another handoff. This time Isaiah Wright bounces it out to the right side of the field, but maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Tackle was made by number 45, Nick Hofferer. No gain on the play, and that's the first time today that we've seen Isaiah Wright stood up for no gain.
Yeah, if you're the Friars, you still can't go away from that run game. It's been very good all game to start, and it definitely makes Capaldi's job much easier.
Capaldi in a shotgun set, 2 receivers to his left, Lonnie White Jr. on his right. He hands it off left. It's Isaiah Wright who maybe got a yard, taken down at the line of scrimmage. So the Sally's defense starting to figure out the gaps created by this offensive line of the Friars.
Yeah, they've now come into their own early on. The D-line led by Wing and Yelbert has started to show their stripes.
Tackle was made by James Yelbert on the play. 3rd down and 9 now for Malvern, a passing down. It's a fake handoff. Capaldi fires close sideline, complete for the first down. The tackle's made by James Yelbert, but Andrew Connolly picks up the first down, and a penalty flag is down in the backfield, so it's going to be a roughing the passer call to tack 15 additional yards onto it. Connolly got about 15 onto the reception, so that play is going to be a big gain for Malvern.
Yes, Salesianum has done an awesome job so far getting to 3rd down, but it's been the 3rd down that's been the problem. The Friars are 2 for 2 now on 3rd down.
And it looked like it might have been a zone defensive coverage for Salesianum. Andrew Connolly ran a curl route, sprinted about 15 yards down the field and just stopped dead in his tracks, turned around, and the ball was put right on him by Capaldi, who has looked impressive early on as the Friars are now on the Salesianum 28-yard line. 3:12 remaining in the quarter. Malvern already ahead 7-0, looking to add on to its lead.
Yeah, Connolly created a lot of separation there. There was no D-back within 5 yards of him, and it made it easy to pick up the first down there.
4-man rush for the Sallies as Capaldi throws deep. His pass batted and looks like intercepted, but the official says no. The defensive back was unable to get his hands under it. It was Rasheen Kalk Jr. who was trying to run under the duck. Capaldi's arm was hit as he was thrown, as the ball was thrown. He had a man open in the end zone, but didn't get the extension, and the Friars catching a break there. That should have been picked off.
Yeah, it definitely should have been picked. The Friars got lucky there. I think that was intended for Andrew Connolly,
Yeah,
number 3 up top.
Connolly ran the post route. 2nd and 10, it's a handoff. Isaiah Wright goes up the middle, spins out of a tackle, picks up some extra yards, and makes it a 3rd down and manageable for the Friars as he picked up about 6 or 7 on that carry.
That was great work by Isaiah right there. He was hit around the line, and then he bowled forward for an extra 4 yards.
So they're calling it 3rd and 5. So excuse me, I got a little carried away. They're only a 5-yard gain by Wright. But this is definitely manageable for the Friars, who are 2 for 2 in this ball game on third down conversions. A 4-man front for Salesianum. And a fake handoff. Capaldi throws over the middle. It's complete, and into the end zone runs Andrew Connolly. What a play. First by Capaldi, who got hit on the throw, but put it right on Connolly, who made a catch through contact and ran it in for a score.
That was an awesome throw, but an even better catch by Andrew Connolly. It looks like early on, those two, Capaldi and Connolly, have formed a lot of chemistry. That's Connolly's third catch of the game so far.
That's a 24-yard touchdown strike from Capaldi to Connolly. It'll be Reed to take the extra point, and it's blocked. The block made by James Yelbert, who got in there on the extra point try. So the Malvern lead 13-0 with 2:12 remaining in the first quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca here from Malvern Prep TV, and Sonny all navy blue in the first 10 minutes of this ball game.
Yeah, Coach Greer couldn't have had a better start out here. Capaldi looks very comfortable in there. Isaiah Wright with the ground game's looking very good. And this O-line that had question marks coming into the season looks very good.
How about Andrew Connolly, a player we didn't have circled going into this game, but stepping up, making a couple nice plays on that drive?
Yeah, Akon's making his name known early on here. He's got a touchdown catch and 3 catches overall.
Akon, I like that. We're gonna have to stick with that. So a 2-touchdown lead for Malvern. Salesianum has yet to pick up a first down offensively. Credit the Friars defense, who have been swarming to the football. Jake Brownlee's made a couple of nice plays. Lonnie White Jr. playing the defensive back spot along with Cooper Frankenheimer. Frankenheimer, by the way, we'll get into his story a little bit. He is a multiple sport athlete.
Yeah, Coop's an athlete. He also plays lacrosse, too. He's going to North Carolina for lacrosse.
That is no joke, a big-time program. As the kickoff sails out of the end zone for another touchback. So Jake Reed with a monster leg here today. 3 touchbacks in this ball game on all 3 kickoff attempts.
Yeah, I was going to say, not a position that gets too much love, but number 12, Jake Reed's been killing it early on, not giving the Sallies an opportunity to return a kick.
Shout out to one of my favorite players, Ronan Swope, who was a punter last year for the Friars, and it's an underappreciated aspect of the game of football, special teams. Anyone, though, who has skills at this level to kick and punt is a favorite of mine, as this first down pass is complete, and the Sallies will indeed pick up the first down of the game for them. Rasheen Kalk Jr. on the completion. Got 11 yards on the catch.
Yeah, finally some life out of this Sallies offense. They might need to switch up their scheme a little bit, because usually they're ground and pound, but down 13-0 early, they might need to switch things up.
Yeah, Malvern's been able to get to the ball carrier every time that Salesianum has handed it off in the backfield. It's been marginal gains at best for them on handoffs. 1st and 10 now for Salesianum on their own 31. It's a slant route that's intercepted. Jake Brownlee with a one-hand snag, and he sprints towards the end zone. At the goal line, dives for the pylon, and Jake Brownlee with the pick 6.
Are you kidding me? Jake Brownlee with a sack on the first drive and now a one-handed pick 6 to put the Friars up by 3 possessions. That was phenomenal.
Jake Brownlee saw the slant route, stuck his right hand out, the football got hauled in, he made a one-handed catch, brought it in with 2, and then sprinted about 37 yards for the pick 6. Malvern ahead 19-0. All momentum pointing in the direction of the Friars.
Brownlee is excited on the sidelines there, and he has every right to be. He has been a huge part of this Friars defense, not only this year, but the past 3 years.
Jake Brownlee, one of 21 Malvern Prep seniors here today who were honored before the game for Senior Day.
He's got the turnover chain on down on the Friars sideline.
Another blocked extra point by James Yelbert. That's the second time in the last 2 minutes we've seen him do that. And I'll tell you what, the athleticism of that 6'6" senior, whoever gets him next year in the Division I circuit is going to be lucky. That kid can do it all for Salesianum.
Yeah, the D-line has been doing too much for Sallies, but, I mean, Yelbert's blocked 2 kicks pretty early on here, and he's been looking really good. Here come the Sallies now. Got to try to make something happen here to prevent a 4-possession lead for the Friars.
Yeah, just a minute 38 remaining in the opening quarter. Malvern ahead 19-0. Salesianum with just 1 first down on 3 drives. The turnover a few moments ago went for a pick 6. And Malvern with all the momentum. Salesianum yet to get beyond their own 31-yard line offensively.
Yeah, the Friars have done an awesome job on defense early on, and their offense has done awesome as well, keeping with the Sally's defense.
And remember, Malvern kicked off to start this ball game, so they'll be receiving the kick to start the third quarter. As this is a kick towards the end zone, and another touchback for Reed. So he hasn't had his luck on extra point tries. Can't really control the 6'6" James Yelbert coming over the line of scrimmage, though, to block his kicks, but he's handled his business on kickoffs. Just want to give a quick correction as well. It's Ronan Swope. I want to make sure I get that name correct, who we were referencing a few moments earlier. So the fourth drive of the game for Salesianum will start on their own 20-yard line. $1:38 remaining in the opening quarter. They trail by 19. Brownlee with a pick 6 on the last drive for the Sallies. Snap is off, and the QB Mooney wasn't ready for it. And that's going to go for a loss. So a lot of confusion for Salesianum here in their 2020 season opener.
Yeah, definitely some miscommunication there. In fact, they're lucky that wasn't a turnover there, because Mooney wasn't expecting the ball at all there.
Goes for a loss of 1. That'll be 2nd down and 11. And a lot of negative plays for this offense. The Friars getting into the backfield, wreaking havoc. Mooney has not had a lot of time to throw today.
Yeah, Mooney, there's been pressure all over Mooney all game. And we were talking about the Sally's defense to begin with, but the Friars defense has put on a show so far.
2nd down and 11. It's a handoff left, and that will go for a solid gain. Cooper Brown fighting for some extra yards. He used his left hand as he was tripped up to keep himself alive as a ball carrier and scamper out to his own 25. So he picks up 6 on the carry. And a name we haven't even mentioned yet for the Friars defensively, Colton Deary. Hasn't made a play yet, hasn't tackled anybody or deflected a pass, but he's got over 30 Division I offers, and he's a big factor for the Friars up front at the defensive tackle spot.
Yeah, Deary's no joke up there. He's been putting a lot of pressure on. Even though it hasn't shown on paper, he's been doing a good job up front early on.
4 receivers for Salesianum, 3 to the right. Mooney takes the snap, rolls left. He's going to try to run for the first down, hit near the 30-yard line and gets across it. The tackle was made by Aiden Catania, but Dylan Mooney with the extra effort to pick up the first down.
Yeah, that was a great run by Mooney. I think that was a designed run, and he went out the left side and barely got the first down to give the Sallies a new set of 10.
Clock is stopped for now with 8 seconds, and now it runs, so that will take us to the end of the quarter. After 12 minutes of play, the Malvern Prep Friars have a 19-0 lead. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, second quarter action here on the Malvern Prep TV studio. Second quarter action here at Quigley Field. Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca here for the Malvern Prep TV studio. And the Malvern Prep Friars ahead 19-0 in their season opener.
Yeah, this game's been all Friars so far in the first quarter, and they hope to continue that in the second quarter and beyond.
1st and 10 for Salesianum, ball on their own 30. It's a handoff left that goes nowhere. Cooper Brown met in the backfield. A couple men got to him, including Ryan Davis, an interior linebacker who Coach Carrera had nothing but great things to say about yesterday to me on a phone call. And he's liked Davis's progress over the years and thinks he's a player who has natural instincts at that spot, has worked really hard to earn a starting role for this team, and they trust him a lot to make plays for this defensive unit.
Yeah, Davis is back after a shoulder injury cut short his season last year, and he's looking to prove himself once again.
Just a junior is Ryan Davis. 2nd down and 10 now for the Sallies. It's a fake handoff. Rolling right is Mooney. He's going to launch it. Close sideline, complete for a big gain. Stocker makes the tackle, taking down Joe Montooth, but he is into Friar territory.
And the Friars are really lucky there. Evan Lowe, number 11, was wide open on the middle of the field. That could have been a touchdown. So they get away with one there.
It's a 26-yard completion on the pass from Mooney to Montooth. And to your point, could have gone for perhaps a bigger play, but I don't know if Mooney saw him rolling out to his right. 1st and 10 now for the Sallies. Ball on the Malvern 45.
He said he's okay.
It's a handoff to the fullback. That's number 41, DJ Morales, who stumbles forward for a short gain. Got about 2 or 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, the Sallies are finally in Malvern territory and look to capitalize on this field position.
Brian Davis came up on that play to make the tackle. 2nd and 7 for Salesianum, trying to score for the first time in this ball game. Their first 3 drives not amounting to much. First 2 drives of the ball game, 3 and outs. Their 3rd drive was a pick 6 by Jake Brownlee. Mooney under center, and a penalty flag flies. Motion up front for the offense. This will be a false start. Move the Sallies back 5 yards, make it 2nd down and 12. And this is an area where Malvern thrives in defensively. Anytime it's a 2nd or 3rd down and long, Malvern is primed to force a turnover. Cooper Frankenheimer comes back onto the field for the Friars, taking the place of Lonnie White. They're sharing snaps defensively at the cornerback position.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong with either Cooper or Lonnie White. They're both very athletic, and they've done great on defense so far today, in today's game.
Malvern with a 4-man front. Mooney fakes a handoff right, rolls out left, looks to throw, chucks it deep, and it's incomplete. Had Evan Lowe on the left sideline, but threw it just a bit too far for the 6'3 senior to haul it in. A missed chance for a big play.
Yeah, Evan Lowe, he had a step on him down there, and it looks like you can see the Sally's offense is not ground and pound any longer.
Yeah, they ran the play action misdirection, had him wide open on the corner route. It's good play design by the coaching staff for Salesianum. Bill Leonardo, called the right play there, but just a missed shot. It'll be 3rd and 12, though, after that play. Mooney looking to the sideline. Clock is stopped. 9:26 remaining in the second quarter. Malvern ahead, 19-0. The fans here getting loud, making some noise, and now timeout is taken by Salesianum. Coach Leonardo didn't like the look his offense had, so he decides to call a timeout.
I think that's the right call by Coach Bill Leonardo there. I mean, this is a huge play early on in this game. The Sallies would hate to go down by 4 possessions early on, and the Friars' offense looks really good.
Yeah, this is a Malvern Prep offensive unit which is primed to go up by 4 scores. Because remember, they're going to receive the opening kickoff in the 3rd quarter. So this is, early on in a ball game, a pivotal point, a pivotal possession. Salesianum really needs a first down here. And, you know, there's a lot of time left, but for an offense that has struggled early on, they want to send a statement and show the Friars they can pick up a 3rd down and long here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised even if they ran the ball here to set up an easy 4th down, because I think they're going to have 2 downs here to get 12.
Well, they are in Malvern territory, so it's not out of the realm of possibility to see them go for it on 4th down, especially down 3 scores. If Doug Peterson was coaching, I don't think it'd be a doubt that they're going for it on 4th down.
Yeah. And if they got a touchdown, they'd probably go for 2.
Mooney, with time, slings it. It's complete for maybe a yard gain. Montooth taken down immediately by Ryan Davis. Punting unit coming out onto the field for Salesianum. Another great defensive stand for the Friars.
Yeah, the Friars defense continues to impress early on in the season, and they're setting up the offense in a good position here.
So Lonnie White Jr. and Isaiah Wright back to receive. It's been a busy day for the special teams unit of Salesianum. This will be their 3rd punt of the ball game. Low kick towards Isaiah Wright. He lets it bounce. This will take a Salesianum roll, but it goes too far and trickles into the end zone. Max Agresti narrowly missing, knocking it back to prevent the touchback.
Yeah, Salesianum had an opportunity there to pin the Friars down inside the 5, but just missed out.
So instead, the Friars will start this possession with the ball on their own 20-yard line. The Malvern offense has already produced 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Wright scored the first touchdown of the ball game on a 5-yard run, and then Jack Capaldi on his 2nd drive found Andrew Connolly open over the middle for a 24-yard strike. 8:34 remaining in the 2nd quarter. On 1st down, Capaldi hands it off left, and Stephen Rose Jr. with his first carry of the ball game gets back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Tackle is made on the play by number 89, Nate Ray, the 6'3 sophomore for Salesianum.
Yeah, it looks like now we're going to see a little bit more of Stephen Rose. Early on, it was all Isaiah Wright, and now he's in the game, number 5.
Stephen Rose Jr. committed to Delaware. We saw him in the starting role last season as Capaldi fakes a handoff. It's a quarterback keeper, but he's taken down for a loss. James Yelbert in on the play for the Sallies, and 3rd down and 11 now for the Friars. This will be their first challenge offensively in the game.
Yeah, the Sallies defense finally showing some life in the 2nd quarter here, and that's 3rd and 11.
Capaldi comes out in his shotgun set. There's 4 receivers on the field. Rose Jr. in the backfield. 3 receivers to Capaldi's right. Lonnie White Jr., the lone man, to his left. 4-man front for the Sallies. Capaldi throws the swing pass to the close sideline. Stephen Rose Jr. dancing, steps out of bounds. A penalty flag is down in the backfield. It's in the area of holding. We'll see what the call is. And this is going to be a penalty against the Friars. Still no official signal for what happened in the backfield. I'm assuming it's a hold. And that is the call. Holding declined by Salesianum because they got the stop on 3rd down. So Stephen Rose picked up about a yard on that swing pass, but the Friars will be forced to send it away on a punt. And there's our man, Ronan Swope. He's got a strong leg. Was one of the better players for the Friars last year. Made a lot of big-time kicks for them.
Yeah, now we get to see Swope's leg for the first time this season.
High snap, punt nearly blocked, but Swope able to get it away. This will take a Malvern bounce into Salesianum territory, and it rolls to the close sideline, downed by Yadir Nash at the Salesianum 37. So the Sally's able to come up with a stop defensively. A good sign for them. Their offense back out onto the field for its 5th drive.
Yeah, the Sallies need some life here. They need some points to put on the board to try to stay in this game. Because like you said earlier, the Friars do get the ball at half, so some points will be huge here.
A strong overcast blowing over Quigley Field. The wind picking up. It started as relatively sunny around 1 o'clock, but some clouds making their way here to the campus of Malvern Prep. On first down, Mooney keeps it, goes up the middle, and is tackled for no gain. Another hit made by Ryan Davis.
Yeah, Ryan Davis looks like his shoulder's giving him no problems early on. He looks really good. Another tackle.
The junior linebacker, Ryan Davis, emerging here today for the Friars. And Coach Guerrera told us he was going to be a key player for them. He's lived up to that so far. 2nd and 10 for Salesianum. 6:27 remaining in the quarter. Mooney in the gun, 3 receivers to his left. He takes a snap, looks left, throws that way, and his pass incomplete. Had a man open. It was Michael Portal, but the throw was too high for him to haul it in.
Yeah, that Friars front four has been all over Mooney all game, and it's been causing a lot of trouble for him to make good throws early on.
3rd down and 10 now for Salesianum. They've struggled on 3rd down. 6:16 remaining in the opening half. The Friars with a 19-0 lead. Salesianum has been in Malvern territory just once in the game. Mooney looking left, fakes a throw, now rolls out right. Has space to run. He'll try to pick up the first down with his legs. Makes a stutter step, dives near the line to gain, and it looks like he got it. Tackle was made by Dale Law.
Yeah, it looks like he just picked up the first down. Yeah, he did.
But yeah, Mooney able to make a couple nice moves at the tail end of that run. Stutter stepped. It was the dive, the reach over that got him the first down. Salesianum now will have a 1st and 10, ball on their own 48-yard line. 6:07 remaining in the quarter. The clock is stopped because Mooney went out of bounds. Shotgun set, 2 receivers on each side of the line of scrimmage. Fake handoff, ball's out. Mooney falls on it, and that'll just be a loss. Perhaps Salesianum got a little bit, I want to say was fortunate it was just a loss because number 65, Christian Coratolo was in there, could have easily scooped it up for a score.
Yeah, Sally's really lucky. That could have easily been a turnover. I think there was a miscommunication there between Mooney and that might have been Cooper Brown.
Well, it goes for a 5-yard loss. Timeout on the field with 5:52 remaining in the second quarter. Malvern is ahead, 19-0. We'll take a quick audio break. You're watching Malvern Prep football here on the Malvern Prep TV studio. Out of a timeout, it's 2nd down and 15 for Salesianum. It's a pass play complete to the close sideline. Number 10, Rashid Kalk Jr. hauls it in. He's made a couple plays for the Sallies. That's about a 7-yard catch. Ball at midfield. This will be 3rd and 8 for Salesianum in the hurry-up. Mooney in shotgun. He takes the snap, looks left, throws that way. His pass complete, but a hard hit on the play. D'Angelo Stocker got to Evan Lowe and took him down well short of the first down marker. And they're saying no gain on the play, so Stocker with a great hit in the open field. And Salesianum will have to once again send their punting unit on to the turf.
Yeah, Mooney's done a great job of completing passes, but the Friars defense has done an even better job of containing those passes to short gains so far.
Ryan Davis and D'Angelo Stocker have been flying to the ball here today. And this will be another punt for Aiden Montgomery. High snap, he hauls it in, sends it away. This is a high kick, his best punt of the day, and it takes a hop at the Malvern 10, downed there by Dom Rotura. So Malvern will start this drive with the ball on their own 10-yard line. This is their toughest field position of the game so far offensively. That was a solid kick by number 82, Aiden Montgomery. Got the ball to bounce back away from the end zone, and it landed right on the 10. Officially, they mark it on the 11, so couldn't do it any better than Montgomery did on that punt. Back out onto the field is Jack Capaldi in the Friar offense. Capaldi in the gun with two receivers to his right. Takes the snap, throws left. It's complete to Lonnie White Jr. He makes a move, has some space, goes up the close sideline, and is pushed out of bounds at the Malvern 35. So a 26-yard completion from Capaldi to Lonnie White Jr.
Yeah, that's what makes Lonnie so dangerous. I mean, he can catch the ball at the line of scrimmage and still make a big play out of it, and you can see what he did right there.
Yeah, he shook a defender out of his shoes and nearly broke it free for a score. A tackle made in the open field by a Salesianum defensive back. I didn't get the jersey number there, but it saved a touchdown. 1st and 10 for the Friars, ball on their own 35. It's a handoff. Isaiah Wright maybe got a yard, well covered on the play by Micah Wing, who made the tackle in the open field.
Yeah, Isaiah Wright's been contained ever since that first quarter, but you can assume he'll get back on track soon.
That carry goes for a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 for the Friars. 4 minutes and a second remaining in the second quarter. Capaldi in the offense in no hurry. 3 men to Capaldi's right. Lonnie White Jr. in the slot. Isaiah Wright in the backfield. It's a fake handoff. Capaldi loses the football. He was hit as he tried to throw. Ball came loose, but it looks like the Friars will recover. Isaiah Wright able to fall on it. James Yelbert was in the area to make the recovery, but Isaiah Wright with a heads-up play to prevent the turnover.
Yeah, Isaiah had great awareness there. He knew the ball dropped, and he went right after it and prevented the turnover.
It's a loss of 7 on the sack, so it'll be 3rd and 14 for the Friars. D'Angelo Stocker comes onto the field to replace Lonnie White Jr. 3:08 and counting remaining in the quarter.
It looks like there's some miscommunication down there at the Friars sidelines.
And a timeout is taken by Malvern. With 2:58 remaining in the half, Malvern ahead 19-0, but it's 3rd down and 14, so Coach Guerrera and his staff want to talk this one over with their offense. Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca here for the Malvern Prep TV studio, and it's been all Malvern in this first half, Sonny, but the Salesianum defense making some plays on the last couple Malvern offensive drives.
Yeah, Salesianum looks like now they're reigning true to what we said they were going to do early on. They've been putting a lot of pressure on Capaldi now in the second quarter, and they've been looking really good.
Yeah, they've gotten to him a couple times on this drive. He was hit, the ball came out, but fortunately Isaiah Wright fell on it to recover the fumble. That prevented a turnover, which would have given Salesianum their best field position in this game. But for the Salesianum defense, they want to get a stop here, give their offense a final shot to score in the opening half, because Malvern is going to be having or receiving the opening kick to start the third quarter.
Yeah, stop here for Sallies would be huge.
Well, the Friars come out with 2 men in the backfield. Isaiah Wright, the halfback. Dale Law lined up at fullback. It's a shotgun set for Capaldi. He takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, fires a deep ball over the middle, incomplete. Tried to hit Kellen Mathias on a go route, but he was well covered all the way by Mashawn Tiller And that ball just too far for Matthias to run down. So this will be a punt for Malvern with 2:52 remaining in the half. Joe Montooth back to return it for the Sallies.
That was a much-needed stop for the Sallies, and that also stops the clock, so they'll have some time to work with before the half ends.
Swope on to send it away. It's a high kick. Montooth signals for fair catch and hauls it in at his own 25-yard line. Special teams today for the Friars, playing well. That was a great kick by Swope, and the Gunners got down there quickly. Nowhere for Montooth to run.
Yeah, the Sallies will be inside their own 25 here. Try to make something happen before the second half starts.
2:44 remaining in the half. Salesianum has already used a timeout, so we'll see how that factors in here. They'll have it on their own 25 to start. Mooney comes out in the shotgun. 2 receivers on both sides of the line. Malvern with a 4-man front. It's a handoff, and it goes to the right side of the line. Maybe 2 yards on the carry for Cooper Brown. A sea of navy blue takes him down, including that man, Ryan Davis, who's had his number called on and off here today. He's made a lot of big plays in the open field for Malvern.
Yeah, that whole front seven for the Friars has been on point today early on, keeping that Sally's defense to minimal yardage.
2nd down and 7 now for Salesianum. 2:14 remaining in the quarter. Not much of a hurry for Salesianum offensively. Mooney in the gun, swings it left, and it's incomplete. Pass was dropped by Evan Lowe, and it was a dangerous throw. Kellen Matthias had a read on it out of the outside linebacker spot. Almost got a hand on it. That was in pick 6 territory.
Yeah, if Matthias caught that, he would have went to the house and gave the Friars a four possession lead as the second half comes to an end almost.
3rd and 7 now for the Sallies. Ball on their own 28. They've got to get to their own 35. Mooney takes a snap, looks left, throws it deep down the left sideline. It is complete. Hauled in by James Yelbert. And when you're a 6'6" receiver, all your quarterback has to do is throw it up there. And it's time to teach some lessons. That's a grown man playing against little boys.
Yeah, you don't see that every day. I mean, he just got off the D-line, and now he's lining up at the top of your screen to receiver and just makes a catch. Beautiful play.
Mooney with a lot of trust in Yelbert. He was double covered on the play, but the size advantage paying off. 1st and 10 for Salesianum, ball on their own 49. Mooney takes the snap, looks right, dances, now rolls out right. There's a penalty flag, might be in the area of holding. Mooney throws it over the middle, intercepted by Lonnie White Jr., who is taken down at the Salesianum 42. A penalty flag is down, so we'll wait and see. It looks for now as if it's holding, and the Salesianum offense leaving the field, so I think that's going to be the call. The Friars will indeed decline the penalty. Lonnie White Jr. with the interception. It's the 2nd pick of the day thrown by Dylan Mooney. And this Malvern Prep Friar defense can't be playing any better than they are right now.
Yeah, we just talked about James Yelbert dominating on both sides of the ball, but look at Lonnie White with the pick on defense. Great play.
Yeah, Lonnie White Jr., he has done it all for this Friars program throughout the years, not just on the football field. You're his teammate on the baseball team. He does it for the basketball team. One of the more gifted athletes in Pennsylvania, Lonnie White Jr. We're going to miss him next year here at Quigley Field.
Yeah, one of the most talented guys you'll see around here at Malvern.
Now Capaldi takes over for the Friars offense, hands it off to Wright. He bounces out left. Isaiah Wright with room, hurdles over a defender and picks up a couple extra yards on the play. Wind picking up, it's a strong overcast.
I mean, speaking of athletes, look at Isaiah Wright early on. He's impressed, the junior.
Yeah, Isaiah Wright already has a touchdown run here today. He's had some healthy gains offensively when the ball's been put in his hands. 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Capaldi in the gun. Hands it off again. Wright goes up the middle, breaks a couple tackles, and has the first down taken down at the 30. A couple players got tangled up. We saw some extracurriculars on the end of that play there with Curatolo tangled up with a Salesianum defender. Strong winds blowing into Quigley Field now. It's a complete overcast, dark clouds over us. 48 seconds remaining in the half. Capaldi takes the snap out of the gun, slings it close sideline, pass nearly intercepted. It was intended for Lonnie White Jr. It was Owen Lubin who, I think he just tried to bat the ball down, but that pass was in between both his hands.
Yeah, I don't think Lubin thought he could get there, and then the ball was right there in his face, and he knocked it down.
A missed opportunity for a turnover. Capaldi got away with one. 2nd down and 10 with 40 seconds remaining in the half. So the Friars went in the direction of Lonnie White. This 2nd down play will come out of a shotgun set. 2 receivers on both sides of the line. Capaldi takes the snap, looks left. It's a screen pass. Lonnie White Jr. has it. Has the 1st down and more. Up the close sideline, breaks the tackle, still going. Lonnie White Jr. dancing around everyone. It's like playing Madden.
Well, you can see that from a mile away. I mean, Lonnie got it down there. He got a lot of blockers up front. And he, after one juke, he could just walk into the end zone there. But there is a flag on the field.
Yeah, penalty flag down. This might be in the area of holding. No, they pick it up and say touchdown. 30 yards on the completion from Capaldi to Lonnie White Jr. Showing off the moves, shaking some people out of their shoes. He has an interception. Now he has a touchdown catch. Lonnie White Jr. off to a hot start in this 2020 campaign. And that was just a screen pass at the line of scrimmage that he turned into a score.
I mean, nothing like capitalizing off your own pick with your own touchdown. I mean, great job by number 10.
2nd touchdown pass of the ballgame for Capaldi. 31 seconds remaining. Here's an extra point try by Reed. And they fake the kick. The throw to the end zone is complete. The catch was made by Joe Walheim. Ball was thrown by Ronan Swope, so some trickery there by the Friars. Their previous 2 extra point attempts were blocked by James Yelbert, but they go for it, convert on the 2-point try, and are up 27-0 with 31 seconds remaining in the half. And Sonny Petricca, I don't think you could have had a better start, could have planned a better start to this game for Malvern.
Yeah, I mean, talk about salt on the wound right there. You end up a drive with an interception, then a touchdown by Lonnie White, and then some trickery there by Malvern. They're just playing with them at this point.
We'll see if Salesianum tries to manufacture a drive. Just 31 seconds remaining in the half. Malvern will have possession of the football to start the 3rd quarter. So the Friars realistically are in the area to create the mercy rule scenario where if a team leads by 35 points or more, it'll be a running clock in the 2nd half. New kicker to send it away for Malvern. This time it'll be Andrew Monteith kicking right to left, and this will be into the wind. Tiller back to receive. This is a squib kick. It goes up the middle, goes all the way to Tiller. He picks it up, has a hole. Tiller across the 37, taken down in the open field. And that's a touchdown-saving tackle by Cooper Frankenheimer, but a good return on the play by the senior Michon Tiller.
Yeah, that was close to a disaster there to end the half for the Friars. If they put some points on the board, maybe a momentum shifter there, but great tackle by Cooper Frankenheimer, keeping the Sallies out of the end zone.
So Salesianum will start this drive with the ball on their own 37-yard line, 25 seconds remaining in the half. We'll see how aggressive they play it here, as the last Sally's drive ended in an interception in a similar area on the field. Mooney out of the gun, takes the snap, looking to throw, hauls it deep, over the middle. It is picked off! In and out of the hands of Stephen Rose Jr., but Lonnie White with the sliding grab. What can't this kid do?
The last 3 drives have been a pick by Lonnie, a touchdown by Lonnie, and now another interception by Lonnie White. I mean, are you kidding me?
When you come to Quigley Field the last 3 years, it's been Lonnie White Jr. time and time again making big plays for the Friars. One of the more talented players in program history. His fingerprints all over this program in the last 3 seasons. And it's been so fun to watch him in just 2 quarters in the 2020 campaign. A shame that we're not going to have a full slate of games to see him as a senior, but I'll tell you what, doing everything and more here today.
Yeah, he's made his mark. He's definitely something special here for the Friars.
18 seconds remaining in the half. Capaldi on first down, going to step up, look to throw the Hail Mary. Now he'll run to the close sideline, out of bounds, hit late, and a penalty flag flies. Hit on the play by Michael Wing, and now some shoving on the sideline. That's going to be an unnecessary roughness penalty. And I'll tell you what, Michael Wing's a young man, but you never want to see that. Not only did he push Capaldi late, but then it stayed on him for a couple seconds there. You just don't want to see that in a game like this.
Yeah, I think social distancing goes out the window when your quarterback gets hit like that. The Friars stood up for him as they should have. Great job.
So some deliberation by the officials. There was some extra shoves late, so we'll see if there's any offsetting penalties. It was tough to see from our view because it was a swarm around Capaldi. 9 seconds remaining in the half. And that's a personal foul, so it'll be 15 additional yards for the Friars. Capaldi was pushed out near the Salesianum 45. They're going to put a second on the play clock. So there'll be 10 seconds remaining in the half. Let's see where they march it off from. So they say Capaldi was out of bounds at the 50. And the ball will be marked on the Salesianum 35. So the Friars with 10 seconds. They have a timeout. They could go to the sideline, throw one over the middle, go down to a knee, call timeout. They have some options here. 3 receivers to Capaldi's right, 1 to his left. Andrew Connolly is the lone man on the line of scrimmage on the left side. On 1st and 10, Capaldi steps up, looks to throw. It's short of the end zone, nearly picked. That pass was in and out of the hands of Dom Roturo, but a penalty flag flies again, and this might be in the area of a late hit on the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be here, and that'll put the Friars at around the 30, maybe the 25, and give them one more opportunity to get a touchdown.
Well, if it's roughing the passer, it's going to go for 15, and that is the call. It's not roughing the passer. It's hit on a defenseless player. So Malvern will have 4 seconds remaining in the half and possession of the football on the 20. One final play in the half for Malvern, and they'll take a shot at the end zone. Why not? Lonnie White Jr. back out onto the field. He took the last play off. He's the lone man on the left side of the line. And now he moves to the right side. 2 receivers to Capaldi's left. Ryan Falkenstein in the slot on the left side. Capaldi with Stephen Rose Jr. in the backfield on his right. He takes the snap, looks right, throws that way. Lonnie White Jr., the intended man, and he makes a circus catch. Lonnie White Jr. with an over-the-shoulder grab, taps the toe, and puts the exclamation mark on this first half.
And for those keeping track at home, that's 2 picks, 2 touchdowns for Lonnie White in the first half. I mean, that's out of this world.
And a couple years ago, we saw a ridiculous catch by Keith McGuire, a one-hand snag that was a top playing on SportsCenter. That catch by Lonnie White, not necessarily in that variety because he caught the ball with 2, but to get that foot down, barely touch it inbounds, the awareness, the athletic ability, just like a ballerina out there. Such a gifted athlete.
Yeah, and you got to give a lot of credit to Jack Capaldi, too. I mean, 33 points, 34.
And now
actually.
So
we'll call it 33 for now. 33 points for Capaldi in the first half on his first start. I mean, great job.
some motion up front on the extra point, and that's going to be an offside. So instead of kicking the extra point, it looks like the Friars will send the offensive unit onto the field to go for 2 again. So Malvern with a 33-point lead, trying to add to it before they go into the half. And is Capaldi on the field, or are they going to use a wildcat formation? Well, they have Stephen Rose Jr. lined up under center. Some confusion, and now a timeout is taken. Trying to see who called the timeout. No signal yet. And it was Salesianum confused by the formation. The Friars came out with 3 halfbacks in the backfield. Wright, Stephen Rose Jr., and Ryan Davis was lined up at the fullback spot. So the Friars going to go for 2 here, try to make it a 35-point lead, and that will enact the mercy rule in the second half, which keeps it a running clock on the field unless there's a timeout or an injury.
Yeah, you got to think that's what head coach Bill Leonardo called the timeout for, just to prevent that running clock from going on. That's the only reason I could think of, being down 33-0 early on here.
Well, it's a complete overcast. This day, this Saturday, started out gorgeous weather. It was around 70 degrees, completely sunny at kickoff. But now clouds surrounding the field here on the campus of Malvern Prep. But fortunately, haven't had much of a drizzle. Friars back out onto the field in the same formation. They've got Stephen Rose Jr. in the backfield with Isaiah Wright on his right. It's the Wildcat set. Direct snap to Wright. Up the middle. There's 2. 35-0. The Friars lead this one as they head to the locker room for halftime. A dominant first 24 minutes of the 2020 campaign. Sonny Petricca, what are your final thoughts on that first half?
I mean, all Friars. 35-0. They hope to continue that in the second half. Sally is looking just to put some points on the board, not make it embarrassing for him.
Capaldi with 3 touchdowns in the half. It'll be a running clock to start the second half. Malvern will have possession of the football. Lonnie White Jr. with 2 tuds and 2 interceptions. Everything going the Friars' way. We'll take a break, but when we come back, we'll recap the first half here on the Malvern Prep TV studio. Hold up. Let me take my glasses off.
All right, your mic's on.
Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca here at Quigley Field. The Malvern Prep Friars leading at halftime 35-0 Sonny, and this has been all Malvern. One of the more impressive games we've seen from the Friars in the last few seasons.
Yeah, after a subpar 2019 campaign, the Friars have come out all guns a-blazing early on. Coach Guerra's got to be happy with this performance.
Malvern got off to a hot start. Isaiah Wright scored the opening touchdown, a 5-yard touchdown run. Friars then a couple plays later scored. It was a touchdown strike to Andrew Connolly. And then Jake Brownlee with the pick six. And before you know it, the Friars in the first quarter are up 3 scores.
Yeah, it hasn't only been the offense, it's been the defense too. Jake Brownlee with the pick six, and then Lonnie White already with 2 interceptions early on. They've looked really, really good.
Well, you mentioned Lonnie White. So those plays all happen in the first quarter. Lonnie White Jr. makes an interception towards the tail end of the first quarter. And from then on, it's just the Lonnie White Jr. show. He ends up scoring 2 touchdowns, both on receptions. One a screen pass where he runs it in from 30 yards out. Another a circus catch, toe tap score in the end zone. And then he ends up with an interception on one of the final plays of the half. This has been one of his better performances of a star-studded career. He could just do it all. How impressed have you been with him taking this role, not just playing receiver, but he's never played defensive back before in his life. Looks pretty good in his first game.
Yeah, he's been doing his best Keith McGuire impression early on here. He had that catch right where Keith made his a couple years back. He's looked awesome, and he's a big reason why the Friars are up right now.
Big shout out to Keith McGuire and that 2018 squad as well. Hope that they're watching and enjoying our first ever broadcast here on the Malvern Prep TV studio. As just a couple minutes remaining before halftime, we're going to take another break, but when we come back, second half action here at Quigley Field. Second half action just about ready to get underway. Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca here for the Malvern Prep TV studio. Our first ever game here on the Malvern Prep TV studio, and couldn't have picked a better one. The Friars ahead 35-0, and they will be receiving the opening kick in the second half. As nice catch in the booth, no one could see it, but my color commentator, Sonny, just made a nice snag to prevent a paper from flying onto the field here at Malvern Prep. So Salesianum will send it off left to right on your screen. Friars coming off a drive that ended in a score. It was a touchdown pass to Lonnie White Jr., a circus catch in the far corner. And then the Friars converted on the 2-point try. They converted on two 2-point attempts in that first half, as this kick will tap into the end zone. Yadir Nash just let it go. The Friars will take it off of the touchback and start this drive on their own 20.
Yeah, the Friars are looking to pick up right where they left off in that first half, going up 35-0.
Jack Capaldi comes out fresh off of a half in which he threw for 3 scores. His first ever start as a quarterback here for the Friars. Won the job in camp, beat out Bryce Pippin for the role. Lonnie White Jr. will start this drive on the sideline for Malvern. Stephen Rose Jr. in the backfield. He takes the handoff, bounces left, and is met in the backfield for a loss. Brett Cuoca in on the tackle. And haven't seen much of Stephen Rose Jr., the senior running back, offensively. He plays both ways, plays the cornerback and safety position. Perhaps Coach Guerrero just wanted to give some looks to his younger players, because this is going to be a short season, and Stephen Rose Jr. already committed to Delaware. Yeah,
Rose has been playing more on the defensive side of the ball today. Isaiah Wright has taken most of the snaps at running back, so we'll see how that develops throughout the game.
Rose Jr. on another carry. This time he goes up the middle. Got about 5 yards on the rush. This will set up 3rd down and 5 for the Friars. Make it 3rd and 4. Ball spotted on the Malvern 26. Lonnie White Jr. back out onto the field. He comes in to replace Kellen Mathias at the receiver position. Lonnie White on the bottom of your screen, lined up against Jaden Mason. Capaldi looking White's direction, has him. He spins out of a tackle, and there he goes, up the sideline. Lonnie White Jr., one man to beat, taken down. A great tackle by Rasheed Kalk Jr. to save a score. But Lonnie White Jr. with another huge play as he gets the Friars into the red zone.
I mean, it's not even worth mentioning anymore. Lonnie continues to impress as we go into the second half of this ball game, and he'll bring the Friars inside the 20, or right around the 20.
That was give me 1 second, I'm doing the math here. About a 55-yard completion. Ball on the 21, so the Friars just outside of the red zone as Stephen Rose Jr. stumbles forward, got about 3 yards on the carry. Clock moving, 9:58 remaining in the third quarter, and remember, it's a 35-0 lead for the Friars, and in high school football, the mercy rule is in a second half, if a team leads by 35 points or more, it's a running clock except for timeouts or injuries.
4, 3.
Capaldi in the gun, 2nd and 7. He hands it off. It's Stephen Rose Jr. Bounces out left. Hit hard near the 15-yard line. And a player down for Salesianum. It's the tackler, Jaden Mason. A little bit shaken up on the play.
That's the equivalent to getting nailed by a bus there. I mean, Jalen Mason's got to be feeling that one.
Yeah, Stephen Rose Jr. It looked like his shoulder collided with the upper body of Jaden Mason as he attempted to make that tackle. 3-yard gain on the carry. It's 3rd and 4 for the Friars. Lonnie White Jr. in single coverage on the left side of your screen. Capaldi takes the snap, hands it off. Rose Jr. hit in the backfield and taken down for a loss. 4 players got to him. The first man there was, looks like Nate Ray. So the Friars will have to make a decision here. Looks like they're going to attempt the field goal. Ronan Swope on as the placeholder. It'll be Jake Reed to take it. This one will be from 33 yards out. Snap's good. Kick is up. And no good. So the field goal try from 33 yards out is off the mark. It's still a 35-0 lead for the Friars with 8:04 remaining in the quarter. Clock stopped for now because of the change of possession. But remember, it'll be a running clock throughout the second half, assuming the Friars are able to maintain this 35-point lead. But the Sallies, they'll have their first look offensively in the second half. And this is a unit that struggled mightily. Dylan Mooney coming off of a half in which he threw 3 interceptions. One was a pick 6 by Jake Brownlee, the other 2 by Lonnie White Jr. First play of the half for Salesianum's offense is a carry up the middle, and it's a decent gain by Cooper Brown. He got 7 yards on the play.
Yeah, the Sally's looking for any improvement in the second half here to get some offense going to try to cut into that lead.
Tackle was made by Ryan Davis and a couple other players for the Friars, and now a player down for Salesianum. That is number 21, Cooper Brown. And he's in some pain holding onto his left leg. Training staff out onto the field will step away. 7:31 remaining in the third quarter. Malvern ahead 35-0. You're watching Malvern Prep football here on the Malvern Prep TV studio. Cooper Brown making his way to the sideline under his own power. Always a good sign. Never want to see the player hurt at any level. So Brown will be evaluated on the Salesianum side of the field. He'll be off for this 2nd down and 3. Mooney comes out with his offense in a power formation, hands it off left, and that's going to go for a short gain. The ball carrier on the play was Michon Tiller.
And that'll be a first down for Sally's, it looks like.
Yeah, they give him the first down as he picked up about 3. Clock moving. A fast-moving third quarter, just 6:39 remaining here in the third quarter of play. Mooney takes the snap, hands it off, and it was a misdirection play, but the Friars swallow it up. Joe Montooth on the reverse, got about a yard.
That was a great play by Cal Mathias there. He read that right off the snap, and he prevented any gain there.
Yeah, Callum Mathias, a senior outside linebacker, also plays the receiver spot. Saw him make some big plays throughout the season last year for the Friars, and he steps up there with the tackle. 2nd down and 8 now for Salesianum. 5:50 remaining in the third quarter. Tiller in the backfield. It's a pitch right for him. Tiller looking for the hole, goes upfield, and is shoved out of bounds about a yard or two short of the first down marker. Matthias in on that play alongside Isaiah Wright.
Yeah, that'll bring up a third and 1 here for the Sallies.
And this is going to be a third, and they got a generous spot on the play.
Or yeah, it looks like a first down now.
Ooh, that was a generous spot. It looked like the ball carrier, Mason Tiller, was about a yard shy, but the referees give it to him. So that moves the chains. Clock ticking, 5:03 to go in the quarter. Ball's out. Mooney picks it up and somehow scrambles forward, turning a loss into a gain. So nearly a disaster, but Dylan Mooney turns garbage into gold. 2-yard carry on the play.
Yeah, that's the third time this game there's been a miscommunication on the snap, and the Sallies have been lucky so far that it hasn't turned into turnovers. So they escaped there once again.
4:34 remaining in the quarter. It's the third quarter of action. Malvern had 35-0 here in their season opener. Mooney under center, flips it left, and Taylor met in the backfield as he's thrown to the turf by Kellen Matthias. A huge play in the backfield. Kellen Matthias came in on the blitz, nowhere for Mason Tiller to go on that play.
Yeah, that's Matthias' second tackle of this drive already, and he's been doing great so far in the second half.
And that goes for a loss of about 4. Third down and 11 for Salesianum. 3:49 remaining in the third quarter. This third quarter of play moving by in a hurry. As quick as a hiccup, as someone might say. We'll see what Salesianum's offense tries to do. We've seen them go to a lot of play action passes in these scenarios. Mooney under center. And movement in the backfield. That's going to be a false start on Tiller. He was leaning forward. Similar to how, and I'm a Giants fan, but Daniel Jones on that 80-yard run was stumbling towards the end. Saw some similar form there.
He ate some turf there at the end of that play. Daniel Jones did. But this sloppy play by the Sallies O-line continues as we almost head into the fourth quarter here.
So the penalty makes this a 3rd down and 16 for the Sallies. It's a pitch out right. And that'll be a short gain. Extra effort at the end there by B.J. Allen. But Salesianum will have this drive ended at their own 40-yard line. They'll send the punting unit out.
That was Cal Matthias once again on the tackle. He's done a great job so far this drive.
Clock moving, 2:45 and counting to go in the quarter. D'Angelo Stocker and Isaiah Wright back to return this punt. Aiden Montgomery to send it away. High kick towards the close sideline. Wright catches it, makes a spin out of the tackle, hurdles another defender, and puts in some work for about an 8-yard return. The degree of difficulty on those 8 yards, it's up there.
Yeah, that was a great play by Isaiah. Just getting free beyond the 20-yard line there. Great work.
So Malvern will start this drive with the ball on their own 28. The clock moving. 1:57 remaining. It's a running clock because of the 35-point lead that the Friars have. Capaldi out there for another drive, and we'll see if in the fourth quarter we get a little action for Bryce Pippin. Perhaps Coach Guerrero will try to go into his depth and get his younger quarterback some reps. But Capaldi the man for now, as this handoff goes for a loss. Yadir Nash taken down for a loss of 3 on the play.
And now you see Yadir Nash getting some work there running back. He's the third guy in the rotation with Stephen Rose and Isaiah Wright.
It'll be 2nd and 13 for the Friars in no hurry. Letting time tick off the clock here. 1:09 to go in the third. Capaldi looks left, slings it. Lonnie White Jr. makes the catch, dances for a couple yards, and is taken down at his own 32. Deuce Residlo in on the play. Came up to make the tackle. So 3rd and 6 now for Malvern. This might be the last play of the third.
Yeah, I think this will do it for the third quarter after this play.
Lonnie White goes to the sideline, replaced by Callum Mathias. 2 receivers on each side of the line for Capaldi. He takes the snap, slings it left. It's complete to Callum Mathias, who has the first down, taken down by Jaden Mason. So that moves the chains. It's an 8-yard completion. And that will take us to the fourth quarter. Malvern ahead 35-0, looking to close out their home opener with a big victory. We'll take a break. When we come back, fourth quarter action here on the Malvern Prep TV studio. It's the start of the fourth quarter here at Quigley Field. Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca. Bryce Pippin into the game at quarterback for the Friars. This first down handoff goes for no gain. Yadir Nash taken down in the backfield. Tackle made by a couple of Sallies, including Nick Hofferer.
Yeah, now they have a duo of sophomores there in the backfield now, Bryce Pippin and Yadir Nash, to start out the fourth quarter.
Yeah, some of these younger players getting some reps here late for Malvern. Just 4 games in this season, so this is important for some of the guys going forward to be able to get some chances to get game experience under their belt. As this handoff somehow stays alive, Yadir Nash was down in the backfield for a 5-yard gain. He was hit immediately by a pair of tacklers. Nate Ray was one of them, but Nash somehow stayed on his feet, and Pippin didn't fumble on the handoff, turned that into a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, it looked like Pippin and Nash both had the ball on the hit, and then Yachty just bounced off the defender there and got a 5-yard gain.
Clock moving, 10:44 to go in the quarter. It's 3rd and 6 for the Friars. Pippin in shotgun, 3 receivers to his right. He takes the snap, fakes a handoff, gonna run it himself, and is hit hard on a 2-yard gain. Tackle was made by number 88, Jack Healy, the linebacker for Salesianum. So on 4th and 5, the Friars will send it away. On the scoreboard, it shows 4th and 5. It's about 4th and 6. Joe Montooth back to return this punt for Salesianum. Swope boots it, and Montooth breaks a tackle. Carries it out across his own 22-yard line before he's taken down by a sea of Navy jerseys. Mike Joyce in on that play alongside a pair of teammates. Clock moving, 9:39 and counting in the ball game. Salesianum trying to mount a scoring drive. But credit to the Friars. This is a defensive unit. You said it at the top of the broadcast, Sonny. The Friars were up and down defensively last year. It was an area they struggled in. But a different look here in the 2020 campaign.
I mean, they've looked really good so far, holding Sallies to 0 points and minimal yards. I mean, I haven't seen them in Friar territory all game.
Mooney throws it on first down, completes it to the far sideline as Rasheed Kalk Jr. is pushed out of bounds. Got about 5 yards on the completion.
This has been what Sallies has been doing all game so far. They haven't had many big plays. I don't think I've seen a play over 20 yards so far for the Sallies, maybe 1 or 2. But the Friars have done an awesome job getting pressure on the quarterback and containing the offense.
2nd and 5 now for the Sallies. 3 receivers to Mooney's left. He's in the gun, takes the snap, fakes a handoff, fakes a throw, rolls out left, has 3 defenders around him and is taken down by all 3. First man to get to him was Andrew Connolly, came in on the blitz, and he was aided on that tackle by Jack Oswald, big number 55. I believe Dan Gazzillo was also in on that hit. So that gain on first down is negated. It's 3rd and 10 for Salesianum, 8:04 to go in regulation. Mooney takes the snap, looks right, going to heave a deep ball. Far sideline, it is incomplete. Good coverage downfield by G.J. Suture. Pass was intended for Rasheed Kalk, but underthrown, and that will end the drive. Salesianum will send it away on a punt into the wind with 7:36 and counting in the game. Nash and Wright back to return the punt.
And that clock continues to run down as we hit around the 7-minute mark in the 4th quarter.
And nothing but positive vibes on the Malvern sideline. A lot of their starters can take a rest now. Some of the 2nd or 3rd team players able to get some reps in as this is a short punt. It'll take a hop at midfield. Wright plays it off a hop, breaks a tackle, goes up the sideline and is pushed out of bounds at midfield. Tackle was made by Samuel Dumas. Dumas, a 6'2", 195-pound junior for Salesianum. So the Friars will take over at midfield on their own logo. Offense is talking it over with the coaching staff on the sideline. And here they come, led by Bryce Pippin, his 2nd drive of the ball game. Haven't seen him throw yet. And Pippin was impressive in spots last year as just a freshman. Saw him start in place of Lonnie White when he was out due to a concussion.
Yeah, Pippin did an awesome job under center for most of last season. And now we're going to see him again here in the 4th quarter, taking the place of Capaldi.
Now D'Angelo Stocker comes onto the field late for the Friars, lined up in the slot on the left side of Pippin. Pippin takes the snap, hands it off, and Nash is hit in the backfield for a 1-yard loss. Number 68, Brett Cuoca, the 6'2", 240-pound junior, got to him in the backfield to take him down for the loss. And I think that's going to be the recipe for the rest of the way here for the Friars. Hand the ball off on all 3 downs, keep the drive moving. You might see them throw it if they get to a 3rd down and long.
Yeah, the Friars aren't going to throw it deep too often here. They've had a bit of a ground and pound offense early on here, and they've dumped it off to Lonnie a little bit with some screens. But other than that, it's been ground and pound the whole game.
Nash spins out of a tackle. Still going, hit by a pair of Sallies, but turns what was a loss in the backfield into a gain of 10. Sets up 3rd and 1 What a run by Yadir Nash. He's got such good control of his body. When he, at that first point of contact, so many times he could just spin out of a tackle.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of these three Friar running backs, whether it's Yadir, Stephen Rose, or Isaiah Wright here. They've all performed really well today.
3rd and a yard and a half now for Malvern. It's a handoff to Nash. He goes up the middle, and the ball's out. No signal yet for who's recovered it. It's a scrum. And the fumble recovered by Salesianum. Couldn't get the jersey number of the player who fell on it, but there was a couple white jerseys in the area. So that goes for a turnover. The first turnover by the Friars in the ball game. It comes with 4:50 remaining in the 4th. Clock still moving. So the Sallies with another opportunity to crack the scoreboard. Mooney comes out with 3 receivers to his right. He takes the snap and hands it off. And up the middle goes Brown for a big gain, his longest run of the day. It's a 20-yard pickup, and Salesianum is into Malvern territory.
Yeah, finally some life with the Sally's offense, just that 20-yard run. And looking to put some points on the board before this game concludes.
The Sallies now with 1st and 10 on the Malvern 45. 4 minutes remaining in the ball game. Four-man front for the Friars. Mooney slings it. His pass incomplete, about a foot behind Rasheen Kalk. Had him open, but missed him. Clock moving, 3:35 and counting in the 4th. 2nd and 10 for the Sallies. And what a performance today by the defensive unit of the Friars, forcing 3 interceptions. They've put pressure on up front all day long. Their defensive backs have made plays as this is a handoff up the middle and another big carry. But a penalty flag flies at the tail end of that Cooper Brown scamper. Brown got 13 yards on the play, but this might be coming back. And it is a hold. Penalty flag is down at the line of scrimmage. So this will be marked off for a 10-yard loss. The clock stops momentarily as the referees establish the new line. It'll be 2nd down and 20. Ball on the Salesianum 45. Mooney on 2nd down. Rolls left, slings it deep, and intercepted. Interception is made by number 56, Luke Guerrera. The 5'6" junior gets a big round of applause, makes a play, and that's the 4th interception of the ball game for this Friars defense. And Sonny Petricca with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. All the Friars have to do is put the ball on the ground, and they're coming home with an opening day win.
Yeah, good for Luke. I mean, 56, that's his first career pick at the varsity level. That was great to see.
A nice moment there. Some of the 2nd string, 3rd string players getting some opportunities here late as Malvern will take over with the football on their own 27-yard line. And it's time to milk some clock. They line up not in victory formation. Mike Joyce in the backfield alongside Pippin. He takes the handoff and breaks out of a tackle, stumbles forward, maybe got a yard on the play. Taken down by James Yelbert. A player is down for Salesianum near the 40-yard line. So that will stop the clock with $1:35 to go. It's an injury timeout. We'll step away. Malvern ahead 35-0, moments away from their first win of the season. We'll be right back here on the Malvern Prep TV studio. Nate Ray, the injured player for Salesianum, makes his way to the sideline with some help from the training staff. Clock moving with 1:24 to go in the ball game. Chris Markowitz alongside Sonny Petricca. Malvern pretty much on their way to a opening day victory, as this handoff in the backfield going to go for a big loss. It was Mike Joyce who took the carry, but he's brought down at his own 22. Loss of 6 on the play. We're under 60 seconds to go. And what a performance today by the Friars in all facets. They played well offensively, defensively, and on special teams. It was a long wait. This season didn't start till October 24th, but it's late August, early September weather here today at Quigley Field, and the Friars are going to be feeling good going into their next week. Off to a 1-0 start in this 2020 campaign. Handoff on third down goes for no gain, but that will do it. The clock will tick down to 0. And the Malvern Prep Friars start their 2020 season with a dominant 35-0 victory over Salesianum. Sonny Petricca, your final thoughts on what we saw today from the Friars?
I mean, great job from Scarpato getting his first win under his belt and his first career start. Also, Lonnie White killed it today. 2 picks, 2 touchdowns. Big congrats to Luke Guerrero getting his first pick of his career. All in all, great game. Go Friars.
A solid performance by the Friars, and that'll do it. Once again, the final score, Malvern 35, Salesianum 0. This game today was presented by the Malvern Prep TV studio. I'd like to thank our crew, our director, Billy Mullray, our producer, Chris Krein and Sean Kelly, our cameramen, Matthew Becket, Leonard Scarpato, and Connor Buehler, and my partner, Sonny Petricca. For our whole crew here, I'm Chris Markowitz saying so long and good night from Quigley Field.